Well, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Foxchair, on the show this evening. It's Robert, AK, and my mucker, Southside. How we doing, gentlemen?
Evening, Ox. Evening, AK, Southside. Good to be with the freeze.
Evening, Rob. Evening, Southside. Evening, Oxshire. Evening, listeners.
Hi, good evening, Ox. Good to be on the night with AK and Robert. And good evening to everyone listening in this evening on YouTube, Facebook, and anything else that you're listening on. Thank you.
How are you, Robert? I thought you were going to say evening all that. I'll take you back. But how are you?
I'm alright, mate. Wee bit kind of disappointed the last night, which I'm sure we'll get into, but aye, not bad.
AK, obviously pre-show you were saying it was great that Rangers continued their magnificent home form in Europa League, but you're right, you've always got to take positives out of negatives, mate.
Aye, we try to anyway. Aye, yeah, looking forward to a good show tonight with the guys.
How are you, Southside? I've got my donations ready.
Oh, have you? Aye, good. Oh, hopefully we'll get a winner since the start of December. Aye. I'm feeling better, a wee bit better today than last night, mate, put it that way.
Yes, all right, aye. I knew you would time to reflect. Listen, it wasn't a vintage performance by any manner of means, young Robert, was it?
No, it wasn't, mate. It was very lacklustre, I thought. There was just a bit of nervousness about the game. And I don't know why, given the form we had been on since before the break, but we've not really got going. Obviously the Aberdeen game, and then last night we've not really kind of hit that gear that we had pre-break. So hopefully we get into that fairly soon.
Well, we fell off a cliff. AK, before we come on, you were watching lyrical about young McCausland, and you were taking a big positive out of that.
Aye, McCausland was excellent, I thought, when he came on. He's a boy that's kind of living the dream now, isn't he? So he's in a crest of a wave. He's made his international debut. He's made his Rangers debut, and he scored his first goal for Rangers. So that if there's anything about last night, that's the one shining light that came out of that game last night. Well done, young man.
Aye. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a winner, so it would be remembered fondly, but he'll never forget it. No, listen, the boys must be thinking he's ahead of schedule, Southside.
He's well ahead of schedule, considering, I mean, he's 6 weeks ago, he's playing in the B team, and he's only made, I think, one appearance a couple of years back, I think, when Cole McKinnon and Lowry and that played, I think he was on. But no, he's had the chance to come in, and he's obviously been impressing in the B team, and also the fact that we've been struggling with some injuries and stuff, so he's come in and he's been really positive. He's been a breath of fresh air, and it was good for him to get his goal last night, and it was a good tidy finish. But he's still young, he's got to learn a lot, and he'll develop as he goes on, but it was good to see him take his chance last night, Ox.
Aye. That was a big positive, but I think you said lacklustre, Robert. I think that's really fair. We were poor, and we were poor all over the park.
Yeah, we were, mate, and it wasn't even, as you said, just certain areas. It was throughout the whole team, which again, as I said, was a bit disappointing given the fact that we'd been on a high and free-flowing attacking football. It just seemed to be a wee bit of a backward step last night for some reason, whether it was the change at the back four or the midfield kind of being a bit different. I don't know, but it certainly wasn't what we were expecting or anticipated, and I think the fans obviously reacted to that during the games as well, and Clement obviously addressed it as well in the game after it.
Aye, but if we're being honest, it's a run for Sunday, mate. It was very, very similar, wasn't it? Couldn't pass. We looked heavy-legged. We looked disjointed. We weren't playing. There wasn't a lot of good football. And if we're being honest, there was a lot of similarities in both games.
Aye, well, on Sunday there, we all think we've got a great opportunity to cut the lead in the league and put us right back on their tails in the league. And It was a very flat performance. So the supporters were up for it. We looked as if we picked a strong team. We were in a good space on form, Aberdeen, weren't they? So I think we a lot is just expected to go up there and roll them out. It didn't materialise that way, and it kind of rolled out again to last night. It's very similar. We could have qualified last night for the Europa. We could have went top of the league because we knew the result for the earlier game. And again, I don't know whether it's a weighty expectation, but there's just something no right. We've come back a different mentality for the first 7 games under Clement, and nobody can put their finger on why.
Have we missing Ryan Jack that much, Southside?
Nah, I'm not going to use it as an excuse. Ryan Jack's not been available a lot of the time, and even in Europe as well for us. Just, you need 11 players. We need 11 players to play in a European night, because that's at the moment we're in around about our level. But also saying the team needs to be changed. The players aren't good enough. So last night probably justifies that. Started reasonably quick, as he said, but I didn't think the passing was great. I didn't think we were creating a lot. I just think it was one of the nights where we had a lot of players under par, and if we don't have 11 players on their game on a European night, then we're going to struggle. So that's just the facts at the moment.
I know you're a big fan of Lammers, but he was disappointing last night.
I'm a big fan of Lammers. Who tell you that? No, he just. Oh, just because I've got Lammers pyjamas doesn't mean to say I'm a big fan of him.
The big Lammers pyjamas.
I think they're beginning the business today. They'll not be selling well in the Christmas stock list for the shop, but he didn't get going at all. But he wasn't alone, by the way. He's getting singled out here, but he wasn't alone, as you intimated last night. No,
I mean, listen, you win games as a team, you lose them as a team. But I thought the midfield, particularly the front last night, they were so good against Sparta, but poor last night, Robert. Poor collectively.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. We couldn't get kind of any free-flowing movement the way we had done. And it's not like they kind of made it difficult for us. We're at home. It should have been a case of passing the ball. But as Southside said, we weren't doing the simple things well. And again, it just nerves. Again, that Southside alluded to. It was a game where we knew a result previous, and we've had a chance to capitalise. It's 2 games in a row now we've not. And I know we've spoke about Clement and his mentality. I think that says a lot about the players' mentality, and I think he'll take a lot from that the past 2 games, that they weren't able to big themselves up and capitalise on these 2 performances to again give us a great chance of catching in the league and also qualification with a game to spare.
Yeah, the front 4 Southside are relatively new signings. I think Cantwell's was less than a year. 3 at one, the other 4. Sorry, the front 4. There always a short period of time. Throw in Civientis with that, they'll not be way as long. So we can't blame them about historical baggage. But last night they were well short of the mark.
Aye, all over the park. Basically, we were short, and that was the issue. We couldn't get the ball moving. We couldn't play 1-2s. Do we give them any credit for shutting us down in there? But they probably at a decent level that we were just dismissing the fact that they were for Cyprus. Because I did say, if you remember at the start, I thought we have to win our 3 home games, and I thought we would take the 6 points off them. I said that. I was basing that on they were for Cyprus. But the state of your squad now, and maybe the result that we got against Sparta Prague and that and Betis, did we overachieve that night with the squad that we've still got? No, did we overachieve on the nights? It's up for judgment, isn't it? But last night wasn't good enough, and I expected us being at home to put a better fight up and get the 3 points. And as Robert touched on, that was you more or less home and dry, to play in March, and that would have took that away as well. But as it is, we've got to now fight our way out to see where we're going to go. Are we going to be in the Europa League, or are we going into the Conference League? And that's no good enough in the position that we were at the time. We should have nailed that game last night, mate.
What part of the team are you most critical of for last night, AK?
That's a tough one. We didn't really create that much. Midfield, we looked as if we're getting overrun a lot. Defence was very, very slow at the traps. We got caught out a lot in pace. I would say probably the forward line. We didn't create enough at home. We should be really battering that sort of team. You're expecting if we're drawing that sort of game, you're expecting the keeper to have a cracking game, and he didn't really have a lot today.
Why should we really batter that team? Where are we just now collectively Scottish football? Why should nobody's battered them, have they? No,
well, listen, they have got a good goal scoring record even on their away trip, so we probably should have expected to concede the away goal, but we obviously thought our players should grasp the opportunity, as we've touched on there, to cement a place in Europe, park it, and then let the group decide. And the last game we could actually go to Betis needing a draw and probably top the group then, but because we didn't, we're in that predicament again, aren't we? But it's all our own doing.
But the question is, they'll take it the other boys as well.
The forward line for me, the most disappointing.
Why do we think we should be battering these teams?
Well, I think the UEFA ranking list, they know what 300 odds or maybe more on that. I think at the kind of start of the season, I think this is the first time they've actually qualified for a European group stage as well. So in our record, we're beating the likes of Dortmund and Leipzig and all that. It might be a false impression that we've got, but that for me underlines that's the reason why we should be battling a team like Limassol at home.
If I go back to when we qualified for the Champions League, the last time I think we played a separate team for the top of the head. I might be wrong here. We never battered them neither. Southside, did we?
No.
Gascoigne, Lloydrup, McCoy, yeah.
Aye. Europe is, listen, on a European night, you need 11 players to turn up. You might get away with one, but that's what you need in a European night. You need everybody to try and turn up and play. The thing is, we didn't really get going. We didn't create many chances. That was the thing. And they hit us with pace when we gave the ball away. They turned us out. They tried to play through us and that. Although they didn't make Jack Buckland work that much, the long range shot in the first half, early doors, he had a really good save. But I mean, he didn't really make his work. Obviously, they only done us with the long ball. But apart from that, they were competitive and they were. But they didn't have us like on the back fit all the time. We just, when we got in certain areas, we just gave the ball away with poor decision making. And that was it. We weren't passing crisp enough or moving off the ball, and it was just slow. And then, like I say, when you go a goal behind in Europe, you've got to then start to chase it, and that's when we had to up levels on it, and it wasn't really there, was it?
A yes or a no answer for the 3 years, yeah. I know that's quite difficult, but right, when we got the equaliser, did you think we'd go and win the game, Robert?
Yes.
UK?
Yes.
Southside?
Yes.
Yeah, so did I. And after that, if we're being honest, Robert, we didn't create much, did we?
No, it was really poor, mate. And I don't want to sound repetitive, but again, it was just slow, lacklustre, and at home. I know you're saying there, asking the question, Takey, why should we be beating them? We've beat teams better than opposition than they are, at home and away. And us as supporters have that expectation. And sometimes maybe we overthink these banana skins can happen. But ultimately at home, against a team of their stature, compared to us, I feel we should be beating them. And it is 2 points dropped massively.
Mm-hmm. Aye. We never made much after we got the equalizer. It was really disappointing. The game just petered out. It was bizarre, wasn't it? AK.
Aye. As you say, there didn't seem to be a lot of energy about our team to, impetus to go and get that winner or even a third goal after that. Young McCausland was the bright spark. Come on, got his goal, and you're just expecting Ibrox to lift. But Southside will tell you he was there. The atmosphere didn't. It seemed subdued, and it was definitely a subdued performance. So I think the two of them together didn't go well at all. I thought we could possibly have had a penalty. McCausland run into the box. I think it was a wee bit of naivety on his part with staying on his feet to get his shot away. I think a more experienced player would have went down there. What do you think yourself there?
Cantwell would have ended up in the goal.
Mm-hmm.
I could have been. He was caught. He was trying to score a goal, and I'm not going to be crowned for that. Southside there.
No. I could seen it quite clearly where the boy had put his leg across him, and he was probably still kept his balance. That was the thing, and then he concentrated on trying to get the ball in the net. So it was unlucky that he didn't score as well. Goalie got a block on it, but maybe an experienced player might have went and done just because he had knocked him sort of slightly off balance. But just as he'd knocked him, his other foot landed. Docs, and he's young and he had good balance, and he just kept going in the box,
Right, we'll look at the manager. We'll talk about before the game, during the game, and after the game. Right, do we agree? Yes or no answers. The back five, that was it. That picked itself with no real other options. We were stuck with who we had last night. Robert?
Yep, picks itself.
AK?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Southside, you the same?
Aye, we picked up, mate, aye.
Aye, so then we move into midfield. Was anybody surprised at the two sitters? AK?
Aye and no. For me, I thought King could have come in there, but on reflection, Cifuentes didn't really that bad a game at Aberdeen to drop him.
Aye. Maybe I brought King on. I've watched them, but I wasn't surprised at selection. Southside?
Nah, they two were in the midfield when we picked the team on the other night, mate. For me, anyway, they were.
And then we've got. You agree with that, Robert?
Yep, clean sweep.
Right, and then on the left, Seema. I don't know, he's a new man, but I don't know if that comes into my selection theory. Seema and Danilo, I think Maesties would have had them in the team. Southside?
I didn't. As you know, I picked the three I picked were different. I went for McCausland and Cantwell in the middle, if you remember.
Mm-hmm. Who did you have up top?
I had Danilo, and I said I would probably have took a chance and played Tom Lawrence on the left slightly, was what I said. I had Lawrence, Cantwell as a 10, and so McCausland.
50% of them, so you'd one chance so far. I'm not getting to the right in the middle yet. Would that have been your two, left and centre? Robert, Seema, Danilo, before the start?
Aye.
AK?
Yeah, I'd agree with that, yep. Right,
and then we move into the part of the pitch is the all-bear position, we call it Southside. the right midfield, right side of forward line, and then I don't know if we'll call it the number 10 role, but you get my point. The guy's meant to be a creator in the middle there. So we had Lammers and we had Cantwell. Robert, would that have been your selection, or would you have played them in the same positions, or would you have played the two of them?
I'd have played one, and it would have been Cantwell in the 10.
Okay. AK.
I would have said that too. McCausland on the right.
And that's what you said as well, Southside, yeah?
Aye, mate, I had it.
So pretty much, they want to maybe a mix and match, or the team that ended up in the first half, that would have been the players that most people would have picked. It would have been Lammers, would have been the fall guy. I'm not picking at him, AK, but we all pretty much agreed roughly with the manager selection.
Aye. The same as Aberdeen selection. I think everybody was happy with that team too.
Aye. I'm not saying we were saying, I would have played Lawrence or Cantwell in front of Lammers, but if you get to a stage where you get 9, 10 out of 11, the same as the manager, everybody's singing off the same hip sheet, roughly. Robert.
It is, mate, and as you say, there's only one or two positions. It's not like wholesale changes up and down the whole team. And given what we had available as well, and whether it be through suspension or not in the European squad, whatever, it's still a fairly decent team on paper, and more than capable enough to go and put in a performance and get a result. Although it's a draw, it's not a defeat, but it could have been a win and should have been.
Right, so after the performance on Sunday, we've all got Cantwell in our team. Right. Is he in your team on Sunday? Just yes or no, Southside?
I would put him in it, but he's going to go in as a number 10.
All right, first shout, mate. I don't disagree with that. AK?
I'm the same as Southside there. I think if you play Cantwell, you've got to give him that central role, but there's going to be discussions, that's for sure, between him and the gaffer.
Robert?
Call us a three musketeers in it, mate, all the same. In that 10 position.
I was thinking we're Stooges, but we'll go with musketeer. Right, so we've all got Cantwell on our team Sunday, we're playing him in the number 10 role. So we're saying that was the mistake. But the gaffers looked at it and he's come out last night and he said, look, he put one of his better players there to use with to do a job for us. That's his job, Southside. He's got to do the bit. He's fit.
I get what he wants him to do, and he said that he wasn't following instructions, so he took him off. He went inside twice, but as I think he wanted him to try and get down the line. But let's be honest, Todd Cantwell's not really a winger. You know, he should be able to pick the ball up in the positions and drive forward. But you're not saying he's a winger where you expect him to get down the touchline, right? But he gave him a specific role and a job today in a position to hold on the park. And twice he got himself into trouble in that position. And that's why he's done what he done. He took him off by the looks of it, you know. And that's just it. That's just the facts here.
Right, I'll put the threes on the spot then. We'll start with AK. Did you think it was bold or silly by the manager last night?
No, I thought it was a good decision. And I'll tell you why. You cast your mind back to the Hearts semi-final, League Cup. He hooked him at half-time because he was doing the exact same. He wasn't holding his position and drifting inside constantly. If you remember, Scott Wright came on the second half, played that position, and we won the game. Last night he did the exact same. McCausland comes on, plays his part, scores a goal. So I think the gaffer's justified with his position for the team, even though a lot of the stadium didn't like it. But I think it was justified.
Very elegantly put, AK. Very elegantly put. Robert?
I thought it was bold, but one I was kind of glad to see. We spoke before about previous managers not acting. This was obviously a different manager that's took it on the chin to make that decision, whether it be 36 minutes into a game or 56 into a game. The decision was made, and if you're not following instructions, fair enough. But as Southside said, Cantwell's natural instinct is to cut inside, and let's not forget, it was only recently against Sparta at home. He was playing the right mid or right wing. He cut inside and scored with his left foot. So we know he can be effective by cutting in, but again, he's more creative in the centre for me. But a bold decision and one I think the manager will get some respect for from other players in the dressing room as well.
All right. When I've had time to reflect, I'd rather if Cantwell was fit, because I think there's something more right with the boys' fitness. If when you look at the performances last night, I would have liked, if I was taking anybody after, I might have worked off for big Lammers and put Cantwell in there and then moved, but I would have maybe done it half the time and then give us a bit of time to see how that went. Put Lammers, Cantwell in the number 10 role, and if you put whatever McCausland you put on and see how that went. Give it 10 minutes and then replace that. That would be my thoughts. But if I'm being honest, you have Cantwell, Cifuentes, and Lammers, because none of them were effective in that. And Sima and Dideo won a much better Southside.
I think as the manager alluded that he's asked him to do a job because there's only him and Ross McCausland available with Scott Wright being injured that can go on the right hand side, as he put it at the moment. He's alluded that he knows he's a number 10 or slightly off the left. He could have easily, when he was made, I think it was bold today what he done. I think it sends a message out. A lot of players might not agree that you get take off before half time, but he'll be proved right because he brought Ross McCausland on and he was the guy that got the goal, and he caused a bit of trouble to them in the defence at different times, and they played pretty well, so he'll get justified for that. Todd at the time, he had the ball, he was near on the touchline when he received the ball before he went inside. He had a chance to play maybe down the line. Cifuentes was making a move, I was watching it earlier, again back, and Cifuentes went to run, and then but when he cuts inside, he still had one chance to release it, but he didn't, and probably if he'd been down the line, but it's down to the manager, and he wants a wide player out there at the moment. That's where he sees that role, and obviously if Todd Cantwell maybe gets a game on Sunday, I'd like to think after the Lammers performance in there and the fact that Tom Lawrence came on late on and didn't really do anything, surely you would say, right, let's put you in there and let's see what changes you can do and see if you can start hitting a bit of form. Surely he's going to have a look at it at some point.
Aye, well, Tom Lawrence come on and maybe even less effective than Lammers. So that was hard to believe, Vicky.
Aye, I know. We're expecting a lot out of Lawrence here, aren't he? Particularly that he's playing his preferred position in the team. Now go out there and make the jersey yours and justify why the gaffer's playing you in that position in front of Cantwell. But nah, it was very, very ineffective, his performance yet again, as was the others, and that's where we're all scratching our head. I mean, the gaffers, as you're saying here, he's picking the right team that he sees on paper, but the players aren't performing to the levels of what they were before the 2-week break. We don't know why.
No. The only thing I can put my foot on when you look at it is Ryan Jackson on the team. Is that too simple, Robert?
I think it's a hard one to call and just base it on one player being missing. You could say, is it not having Raskin? Is it not having Ryan Jack? Is it not having a natural right winger?
Raskin was playing before the international break.
So I'm saying it's hard to just pick one player. Do you know what I mean? It is, especially when you've had, as you say there, the front four that were the same front four that played against Sparta Prague, and the energy levels was just kind of night and day almost. Again, it was a backward step looking for me, and as Ike said, I don't know why we're looking that way after the break. I think it makes sense that the breaks came at the wrong time.
Yeah, maybe. You never know. Right, we better get these phone lines open. We could talk rubbish all night. Southside?
Aye, just come in, let us get a chat, tell us how you feel, what you think, and we'll see if we agree with you.
Right, let's see from these.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
We changed things. He tried to change things last night. The manager, we went to 3 at the back. We tried to get a forward, the full-backs. Southside, you think Bonner was my best player on the night? I think he was one of our better players with Lundstrom, but even then, I don't think any of them were great, mate. When I see...
No. Bonner done, I thought he done a lot of work running in the first half. I thought he tried to get overlap. I thought he was quite physical in the first half. I thought he won all his duels. I thought he used the ball well. And I thought out the pick of everybody in that first half, he was the better player that we had on the left-hand side of the park.
I thought the first half, as the guys on the bottom shrunk, I thought Lundstrom didn't start the game well. With his first pass, I think he put it straight to the pitch. Maybe set the tone of it and go and stand. I don't know if you noticed that. After about 10 minutes, he got involved and he was without being fantastic, without being star man, he was okay. That's not a high bar compared to what the rest of them were last night. Eh?
No, you're right. You're right. It's games and European nights where you're hoping that the more established players in the team, come to fruition, but it just didn't. As you say though, I mean, Lundstrom was at least willing to dig back and look for the ball to kind of start sort of moves. He was good at breaking play up when they were breaking on us. But it was just, there didn't seem to be anything at all. Very, very disjointed. Very, very disappointing.
Listen, Robert, there's a way you can maybe draw a game of football you're on against, if you like, inferior opposition. You hit the woodwork and the goalie. If you go back to Sunday, I mean, we've hit the woodwork twice. The goalies had 2 good saves, and another day at least 2 of them going. And once you get the first and the second goal, you might score more goals because the game changed. But after we got the goal last night, apart from the one with Danilo when he miscontrolled it, when the ball was played through him, I can't even remember us really having to make that goal work.
No, we didn't, and as you say, you can get lucky getting a draw by trying and flinging everything at the keeper and all sorts of, whether it be shots from distance, working it in the box, anything. Sunday's a prime example. That could have been 4-5-1 if it wasn't with the keeper and the woodwork. But last night, again, it comes back to the lacklustre, no keenness to try and get in behind or play between the lines. It was just very pedestrian, almost. And again, I put it down to nerves. I don't know why. Just the word nervous just comes to me every single time, and we shouldn't be. It's not if it's a new manager, first game. He's been there now a number of weeks. The team know, we've seen how they can play, the expectations that he's got for the players as well, and they fell well short of that last night, mate. There's no denying that.
Yeah. I don't think anybody can deny that, Southside, if you're being honest, no?
No, it's like I say, we just didn't have enough players on the night that turned up to play. And in Europe, as much as we can go back to what Gerrard was doing, we could go back to when Walter was the manager and Advocat and all the rest of them. Football's moved on where we're at. The expectation was they were for Cyprus, and the general consensus is we should be beating a team for Cyprus. And the fact that if that was a knockout game, home and away, we're out for a team for Cyprus. That's how bad it is. But as I said, the team that we've got and how they've started under the new manager, he's putting tactics and a sort of style in, but you've still got the same players. And last night, you'd have thought they'd have come out fired up and started to go on the ball. I don't know if it was maybe nerves. It was a flat atmosphere last night in Ibrox. It's as if people turned up just expecting us to win. If the Union Bears weren't there singing for most of that game, you'd have heard the players shouting at each other on the park. At times it was that bad last night. But it's down to the players to get a reaction, down to us as a support to go and sing for a bit. But the players have got to do it on the park. I mean, it's flat and it's not happening. Obviously, it kills the atmosphere. But you certainly heard the UB last night singing throughout the game.
All right, I think we've been joined by Alex Fisher. Evening, Alex.
Good evening, Oxford, Southside, Alec and Robert. I hope everybody's keeping okay. Special mention to Robert there. That was a great achievement there last week with the sleep out, Robert. Well done, son.
Cheers, Alex. I appreciate that, mate.
You're no congratulations, Southside, for going there last night and doing the sleep out over on the Thursday night.
Sorry?
How'd Southside done his sleepover last night during the game?
Aye, that was Baltic cold anyway, I know that. Coming out the game last night, shocked. Was I surprised? No, really. Because I've said it many times before, when this team seems to have some sort of pressure on.
We've lost talent. Hopefully be back in soon. I think the point he's going to make, and I'm not trying to put words in his mouth, but when this team, it's a different group of players now. A completely different group of players. There was only 3 players started that game last night for Seville. Surprisingly, when you looked at it.
Yeah, then I went back in now.
All right.
Sorry there. I just dropped it. Yeah.
Right.
Just what I was saying.
Carry on, mate.
I wasn't really, sorry, Oxford, I wasn't really shocked, to be quite truthful. As I say, what you call, every time there seemed to be some sort of pressure on the team. For some reason, we just can't go over the line. And it was a full team performance last night. It's all right singling 1 or 2 players out, but the full team. I'd only give credit to probably Lundstrom and young McCausland. And for the rest, just unacceptable. There are guys here coming for their work, driving down there to get to the game, probably scoffing down their dinner to get into this game, and that's exactly what they present last night. With a chance there, just with the result before it as well, to go out there and beat this team to come.
Probably dropped to it again. He's spot on, Robert. A chance to beat them and qualify. You know, and if it was the same guard, you could say that. But as I said, there's only 3 players there that played in Seville. The front 4 are players that have been raised less than a year. Throw in Civientes, that's half your team. Butland as well, you know. So, I get where he's coming from as a group in the last few years, but this is a new team. So they've not got the baggage. Robert?
No, they don't, mate. But at the same time, it's a group of players that have worked for a number of months together now, and they should be able to perform to a level that we've seen in the past few weeks. And it was a chance to capitalise, as you say. And the bigger picture is, we win last night. The game against Betis, you're already through. You can focus a wee bit on the cup final 3 days later. So now you've got 2 big, massive games in the space of 3 days based on one performance from last night. And maybe that's something the players have done. They've looked too far ahead. And that's why it's the nerves have crept in.
Maybe, but I can't put my finger on it because we're doing okay. Had the break, thinking good, more players back, Alec. And then the wheels have come off the last 2 games. We've no loss. But if we're honest, we've been pretty poor of the piece. You back with us, Alec?
Yeah, I'm back there. Sorry about that. Third time lucky here, hope. No, I'm just saying I was so disappointed with it. Truthfully, that was one chance here last night to get over the line there. And the last 2 performances you've seen, you're looking up that line last night and you thought it was Michael Beale. Only difference was it was Phil Clement that was still on the touchline. It was a way back to that scenario. And everybody, for a man or a girl in that game.
Oh, he's dropped to it again. Southside, then you come.
I can get it. Do you know what it is? It's hope and expectation last night. That's what we're saying. We hope we're going to win. And the expectation, we're thinking, well, if we win, which we should do at home, then we'll go through. But you got to remember, this team we're only beat 4-1 with Betis just in the last game. They've scored goals and they've been stuffy and hard to beat in every game that they've played. You know? And aye, our form obviously coming off for Aberdeen wasn't great, and we've took it right into the European game. But they have been a hard team to beat. But looking at them last night, I thought their goalie looked a bit panicky and that when the ball went back to him. And I thought their defence could have been got at. It was just, we just didn't get at them at all. We didn't pressurise them in any way, shape or form. But we're all discussion on here that half of these players, or the vast majority of these players, have got to go. So what does that mean? Does that mean that we're not a decent team then? No, we're just thinking we're at home, we're Rangers, it's Europe, we should win, we just should turn up and win. But maybe that team got their tactics right and done a number on us and nullified us in certain ways, and then in times when we did have chances to play a good pass in, we didn't execute it properly. So you've got to look at it always to see and judge it as it is. I expected us to beat them, and I said before the group was made, we're playing a team for Cyprus, we should get 6 points because they came for Cyprus. That's the way I seen it. But it's no panned out that way. They've took 4 points off us. So this shows you.
Aye, they're the Aberdeen of Europe, Akey.
Aye, pretty much so.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Aye, well,
Wait a minute.
the 4 points that they've got off of us. They've not got any points off of anybody else.
Southside, we should have took 3 and 3 off of them. Is that what you're saying?
Aye, I expected to beat them home and away, Ox.
Aye, so we've dropped 5 points to them.
Aye, okay, aye, right. Alex, I know they haven't, but they've not been beat, they've not been hammered. Betis was the only team there in the last game. Now they could have had suspensions, whatever, that's took 4. Look at all the rest of their games they played in the group. Sparta beat them 3-2. Betis beat them 2-1. Last minute goal in the first time they played them. Then they beat us. No. And then Betis did beat them 4-1, and then they've came and took a draw off us. So, you know, they've been hard to beat. They've not been easily. They've not been battered. That's what I was trying to get across.
Aye, all right. And you come, Akey?
Gonna get off of mute there. Aye, it's one of them, isn't it? It's the expectation, but as we've spoke many times before, if our attitude and application isn't right, then we've got no divine right to beat anybody. Southside's telling us at the game last night, same as Alex there, and it's as if the crowd came with the wrong attitude. We can't afford to go in with that sort of arrogance, and we've got to earn the right, you know, because we wouldn't show up like saying a Braga night or a Leipzig or a Dortmund and expect a result. So why should we be doing that last night? So there's a wee bit of snobbiness in the part of the crowd and the players, just totally flat. You can't go into a game like that and expect to win just because they are struggling for form or in the league where they are, and that's totally our fault for showing up like that, and we get punished accordingly.
It was a hangover maybe for Sunday. Are you back ways, Alec? Yeah?
I'm back, Ox there. Sorry about that. Must be the signal out here with the weather, man. It's absolutely Baltic. But I'll have a go at it again. I just agree with what you're saying there. But the point is, we're getting in there, we're playing a team. They've took 4 points off, isn't it? And that's unacceptable in my eyes, by the way, for a Rangers football club. I'm no sugarcoating this name here. Absolutely diabolical. The game there in Aberdeen game and all, they were 2 chances we had. And to me, it's just poor all over. And now we've got St Mirren now again on Sunday, and that could be the exact same thing. I think the confidence has got to be about the level we're going to be. I can't even see us going out to Betis, and I've got mates there going out there all booked up, ready to go, looking forward to it last night, getting in there. And there you go, now we've got to go there and try and get a result. And this team, you couldn't put bad money on them. The League Cup final and all is going to turn out, it's a 50-50 cup final now. And that's how I looked at it now. They really are poor. And this is what you call it, the bounce now that the manager got for the first 3-4 games now, that's it showed up. And it's all right saying they're separated to the full lot. We should be able to beat a team like that, no problem. That goalkeeper, he wasn't going to be the greatest keeper. You've seen he's punching the balls out left, right and centre, but in there. And just overall, the performance, to get into Europa, knowing a victory takes the pressure off you. You've qualified and you've got a League Cup final 3 days later, and now it's all backfired. And I'm afraid to say it, by the way, the only chance we're going to win anything this year is the League Cup.
Anyway, we'll join with Jimmy. Evening, Jimmy.
Good evening, folks. Nice to be back on. Hope you're all
Yeah,
well.
always good to hear from you, mate.
I'm a wee bit disappointed after last night and Saturday, but I think we'll get over it, like, you know. It's a long-term thing that we've got there, you know. I can go right back and remember when Gerrard said after the Malmo game, when they were doing it, I think it was 10 men they were doing it, and it was even Stevens going into second half, they come out right away and then rattled in a couple of goals, we get knocked out. And Gerrard went for money then, and they knocked him back. I think the different boards have been trying to do it in the cheap and trying to, I don't know, they've been investing their money, which I can't fault, because there's been a lot of folks that said they'll do this and do that and done nothing, but they have been ponying up. But the money's been wasted by trying to do it in the cheap, maybe buying 3, 4, 5 players, or maybe 1 or 2 with genuine quality might have served us better, you know, particularly in the areas of centre half and somebody that could finish, a forward that could rattle in a goal. Because we've never had that. You know, when I look at what we've got now, apart from the goalkeeper, any of the rest of them, you know, it's just not there. You know, some of them it was there at one stage, but they've had their day and their day's finished, you know. And that's when, you know, Beale, who I never had any time for, you know, because, I mean, when they were talking about master coaches and master this and master that, you know, when we won the 55, you know, it was, we were playing in front of everybody, and it was, you know, it was a good achievement to go on that undefeated and all that. But COVID played a big part, and the fact that Morbid Park had imploded, that played a big part as well, you know. Their manager at the time, you know, we owe him a lot of gratitude for what he done, you know. But the way it is, you know, Clement's got a job in his hand, but I've got every confidence that he'll deliver, because I don't think he's a guy that was just going to get sacked on the back of a lot of players. I think the players will go and the players will get sorted out before he'll get sacked. And I've got every belief that he'll sort it out. The problem is that he's jiggling the players about them. He's seen it at Aberdeen, he's seen it last night, whereas when he played, what's his name, the boy up, Cantwell, when he played him up in the wing, he sat, if you looked at the start of the first half, Tavernier was sitting in. He wasn't doing his normal bombing up the wing and trying to cross the ball. He never had a free range. Obviously told him, you hang back and let Cantwell do the running up the wing, that, you know, which is totally foreign to Cantwell, you know. Cantwell's a player, but he's just a sort of independent guy that likes to do his own thing, you know. No get the quality of Gascoigne and all that, but he's a football player, you know, but he's maybe not an ideal team player, particularly when we're back to the wall, like, you know. But as I say, it's a major job, and the key ones will be our directors, you know, because they have spent an awful lot of money, but they've not got value for that money. You know, there's been an awful lot of money wasted. The fact that we've kind of got anybody that can score a goal, you know, it's all right saying, you know, we've got Danelia now. You know, Danelia scores a goal, gets injured at St Johnstone, but it comes back with a mask on, puts in a couple of good, and we're all singing and dancing about the greatest Brazilian. You know, we've got him up there with Pele. The other one was the same, the left winger, Matondo, you know. You know, he was going to get hung at one stage. played a couple of good games, because we're crying out for a hero. We're crying out for somebody that can do as a turn. And these people can maybe play a game or two, but there's just no go to in them. There's no go to in that quality that week in, week out, they're going to turn 7 out of 10 and 8 out of 10 performances that are good enough to win us Scottish Cups, League Cups and leagues. And then by winning that, all the time the winning mentality comes in. And then the team gets a confidence and all the rest of it. It's just not there as far as quality goes. You know, even the likes of, you can argue all you want about Tavernier. Oh, he's a great this, great that. But if we took his goals out the team, we'd be in a worse state than we can ever imagine that we're in the now. You know, for his goals alone, and the fact that he can hit a penalty kick and 9 times out of 10 score it, he has to be in the team. You know, you can argue he's better for playing further forward. He's no a defender, he's no this. But as I say, he never hides, and for his goals alone, you know, he's never going to be up there with Sandy Jardine or anything like that, you know. And he's never going to have that same edge as Bobby Shearer or anything like that. But to be honest, you know, he's got his goals and he's done his return. But has the, and certainly goals and all the folk, you know, the centre of the defence, we've not got the mobility, we've not got the speed. You know, we started new with this manager, which is a good thing. Instead of always playing the ball, he's mixing and matching it. He's told the keeper, if you see the opportunity, punt the ball up the park and get the forwards on and into them. You see, and they've had a few goals through that, which is a good thing. But when teams do that against us and punt it through, our 2 centre defenders don't know what to do. They can't turn, they can't move, there's no get speed, and the player just runs through. And, you know, it's just him and the keeper. And the keeper has saved us. You know, he saved us at the start last night, saved us at the start up at Aberdeen. You know, we've got a lot to be grateful for to that boy, Butland. But it's a major job. But this manager I have got confidence in, and I think he will turn it, because I see the League Cup. I think we'll go it and we'll win that League Cup. And I think that'll be for success.
Cheers, Jim. Do you feel better getting that off your chest, mate?
It just saddens me so much, you know, because I can see the directors doing the things for the right reasons, but they're trying to do it in the cheap, and they're trying to, you know, the manager's gone and saying we need this one, that one, the next one. But instead of going out and blanket buying maybe 5 and 6 for them, you know, when you look at the amount of money that we've spent, and you look at the amount of people that we've brought in, even with the Ross Wilson, your Suter, your Ben Davis, Yilmaz, Lawrence, Matondo, Tillman, Kolak, you know, you say, well, what have we got out of them? And now they've got all this dressers and all these kind of folk. You know, you say, well, what are they about? You know, it's just not the quality. There's just no a player there that if it's 1-on-1 with the keeper, if there's a half chance, you think he's going to score. You know, the last couple of minutes up at Aberdeen, when the cross came in, and it was a brilliant cross, and the guy could have headed it anywhere, bar the place that he did header it. You know, we'd have won the game 2-1. You know, but it's not happening. Even last night, with chances to score. And it's terrible. This boy, Robbie McCrory, he's got a great future ahead of him. But we're bringing in players like that, and we're making them out as if they're going to save the day. So the pressure that's going on to these guys.
What do you mean?
Right,
Ross McCausland?
Phenomenal. Phenomenal. McCausland, sorry. Ross McCausland, sorry. But the pressure that we're bringing on to these guys right away is unbelievable. The time for bringing in young players is when we've got a successful team and the team's playing well. And we can say, right, bring them on, get them in there. You know? And that academy thing, I mean, I don't know what value we're getting out of that. You know, because if we can't, if that big strong boy, the big black boy, Yakubu or whatever his name is, and then you had King, they've been in this academy playing about and getting games and in B teams and in that team. If they can't get a game at centre half for the Rangers, then, you know, you say, well, what chance have we got? We're not getting value out of that. We're not producing players that's getting into the first team. So you say, well, you might as well get a day away with it. There's no point in keeping it open for the off chance that some team's going to hire it. now and again prior to a European game at Parkhead or somebody playing against Scotland. You know, it's certainly produced football players, but it's just no doing it.
Right, a lot of points you raised there, Jimmy. Yeah, Southside.
Thanks. No, he did. Jimmy, you made a lot of good points. Listen, you could turn around and say, well, Sakala, who was influential and scored goals, he missed the odd chance here and there, but he was effective. He had speed up front. He could turn. So if you're saying maybe Sima was in doing that type of job, he's not been as effective over a period of time as I think Sakala would have been. Same with Kolak. Kolak would have scored goals in that team, you know. But we'll get rid of him, and he was starting to score. I know he got injured, but I think long term, if he'd stayed and Beale hadn't get rid of him, he might have been all right. I think Clement might have took to him. He might have been his type of player. I don't know. But regards what you're saying about Tav, and Tav was in the centre forward position last night, Jimmy. If you remember, he sort of looked at last night, and if he'd scored, he gets us out of jail, you know. But in time, Tav's got to go, Golson's got to go, Borner's got to go, Lundstrom, another one. European football, he had a couple of sort of tackles and they got on the ball, and there's a couple of wee bursts forwards, 10, 20 yards, and then stops. But going forward, we need more agile players, fast, quick, maybe the same size as him, but we need physicality, but we need better than what we've got. It's where we are now, Jimmy. It's just exactly where we are. The board, as you said, gave money. Now, as we know, we're going to get a new sporting director and all that, and so things might change going forward, but I believe this board will back our manager 100% all the way, and he'll definitely make the changes going forward.
Robert, you want to come in quickly just before we go to the tune, mate?
Aye, sorry, mate. Jimmy did make some good points there, and one thing I picked up on was when he was talking about the defence, it's just kind of dawned on me a wee bit that out of all the defenders we've got, we've had the same back 4 or 5 players in that line since Gerrard. It shows in the past 4 or 5 years we've not addressed the defensive situation, and their goal last night was very similar to the goal on Sunday. It's a ball between the 2 centre-halves, and that's 2 different pairings with similar goals, so that's a concern itself. And he mentions obviously King and Yefeko there from the Youth Academy.
Would we have been happy if we scored? Would we have been happy if we scored that goal? Somebody chipping it from midfield into space with the centre half and a speed merchant running off onto it.
Oh, of course it would be, but our centre mid was playing right wing and our right wing was playing in the centre mid. Almost when they scored that goal, there's a freeze frame that Cifuentes is further right than Cantwell, probably where he should have been.
I mean, but when that guy gets the ball, would that affect it? Cantwell's come inside, lost the ball. Cifuentes maybe look for a pass. The guy's won it, and then he chips a good ball through for his speed merchant.
It's, as Southside said earlier on, they've done their homework. They've done a number on us tactically, and it's something they've used to their strength that ultimately we haven't. And we've got a draw and not a win. I'm
not saying I'm not frustrated, but the goal I'm saying is the boy plays a decent ball into space for a speed merchant. Simple football. That's all there is.
Simple, effective, gets you a goal. And sometimes that's what it takes, is just that wee chip in. Nothing fancy, just keep it simple.
Right, okay. We've reached that time of the evening. We're going to have a tune, so get yourself on mute.
Every Saturday we follow, we cheer the boys in blue, the most successful team in football. We're Scotland's gallant few, though times they have been hard, we've followed near and far. You will always hear us roaring from the stands in Ibrox Park. Every Saturday we follow to cheer the boys in blue, the most successful team in football. boys in blue. The most successful team in football was Scotland's gallant few, whose times they have been hard, will follow near and far. You will always hear us roaring from the stands in Ibrox Park. Whoa,
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Okay. Jimmy, I get your point about quality, but is it hard to attract quality to the league we're playing in, mate?
No, really, no, because how I see that is the same way as Gerrard's used it, that you go to the Rangers, you make a name for yourself, you win a few medals, you'll get playing in Europe, and you'll get your big move. And that's the attraction of the Rangers. And it's the attraction of the Rangers to everybody, because it's an easy way and a quick way into European football. All we need to do is dominate Scottish football, and we're in the Champions League year in, year out, and you'll be plastered all over the telly as far as adverts and all the rest of it goes. And you'll get players that don't get a look in the English Premiership and all that, getting fast-tracked and fast-forward in front of audiences, because I don't think it's a coincidence that some of our best performances in the past has been in European football and European competition, because the players are bursting their gut and putting in that extra effort, because they know it's a way out and it's a big payday for some of them. And that proved to be the case for the likes of your Basses and all that. So
right, so
they greater things.
Well, if
they couldn't hack it. They couldn't hack it.
If I agree with your point about European exposure, but the difference was in 2018 Southside, it was I'll go to AK next. It was a global icon. It was selling that to people.
Aye, with Stevie G.
Aye.
Aye, listen, when try to get them into the first team without exposing them into Europe. I mean, we've had players like, as you were talking about the academy, we've had Leon King. He get flung in the deep end through injuries and stuff and go at it. But do you, Jimmy, really think that Leon King will go in and play in centre half at Rangers? No, I don't. I don't know whether we could make him into a midfield type player where he plays for Scotland under 21s. Zach Lovelace, who's starting to get a chance, gets out injured, who has got a good rep. He's getting picked for the England team at his level and all that. So Ross McCausland's just burst onto the scene, getting all the exposure. There's one or two others in that B team academy you'd like to think could push on as well and gain a bit of time, but you're flinging them in when we're talking about the team struggling. But there is a couple other players in there, Jimmy, I think, that maybe with the right attitude and gain a chance and maybe being about the first team might catch Clement's eye and we might see them get a chance. Archie Stevens is another one that's in the B team. He got a chance against Queen of the South in the Viaplay Cup. He had a chance, and he's another one. And the other boy, I think, that me and Albert speak about all the time. Oh no, his name's just escaped me. No.
Kel McKinnon?
No.
Lyle?
Aye, Aaron Lyle. Aaron Lyle, cracking midfield player, talented, good passer of the ball, good vision. A bit like Ross McCausland, as you see, since he's come in, he's got good vision, he's got good passing ability. But they need to be given a chance. But when you're struggling a bit in sort of form and we're getting players back that we're saying we're hoping maybe Dow will come back, you'll get Raskin back, you'll get Tom Lawrence on for him. How are these other boys going to get a chance? That's the thing. how do they get into that squad to get a chance? Unless he starts clearing some out and starts to try and promote a couple of them, run about the squad and give them some game time and hope that they'll develop.
All right. AK?
Listen, I can hear Jimmy and what he's saying, and he very much reminds me a lot of what my dad will tell me. You know, it comes down to standards for me. When you think about it, Ox, generations of Rangers supporters have been used to seeing like 11 Scots on the park. You know, that's everybody that came to the club knew what it meant to play for the club, and we kind of we cherry picked a lot of the Scottish clubs. Your Jim Baxters and stuff, you know, right for the 60s, all the way through generations to make our team better. I just look at our team now and we look as if we're struggling a wee bit with our identity. We don't have a Scottish manager and you're struggling to fit like a McCausland or a Suter into our team, or Ryan Jack into our team. It's a team full of foreigners. It's a team full of mercenaries for me, and the motivation isn't there. But when you get a boy coming on like McCausland, he knows what it means to play for the club. Scotty Arfield was brilliant at it for a couple of years. He would come on with a different impetus, a different drive, and that makes the world to the team. And I think that's where the problem is for me.
I would go and cherry pick the best of Scots because I think it's better than what we're signing this now, if I'm being honest. I think we're paying a lot of money for very low quality. Right, I'm going to change the mood, DK. We're going to have a laugh, yeah?
Is it a Christmas bonus time?
No, it's time for Southside Super Six.
Hi, welcome to Southside Super Six for the 2nd of December. My first selection this weekend is Brentford to beat Luton. My second selection is Plymouth to beat Stoke. My third selection is Falkirk to beat Cove. The fourth selection is Birmingham to beat Rotherham. My fifth selection is Ipswich to beat Coventry. And the sixth selection is Portsmouth to beat Northampton away from home. If you take all six, it pays 33 to 1.
Thanks for that, Southside. Thanks for the kind message.
I was looking at that kind message. I thought something like that would come in.
Oh dear. Hopefully it starts this weekend.
Please leave a message, thank you.
Hopefully it starts this weekend,
I'd like to think so. Start of December, so hopefully it will start brightly.
Confident?
Aye.
Is there any truth in the rumour you're giving away free Tampax for the Christmas period only?
No.
All right, that's a bad joke. Sorry. Right, okay. Listen, Jimmy, I accept you. I would like quality, but I think the quality could be. I think AK's got a great point there. I'm not saying we should just go and sign anybody in Scotland, but we have missed boys that are better than the players we've signed, Jimmy. Yeah?
Oh, aye, but I'm not 100%. I mean, I'm old school. Whereas, you know, if we could back to the days when we had 11 like-minded people on the park, I would take that in a minute. It wouldn't matter to me what league we were playing in or where we were playing. I would sooner get right back to their days. But obviously, that's not going to happen, and that's not the way it is. But regardless of where the manager comes from, what he is, who he is, or whatever, they still have the backroom staff that we're missing and all. You know, you go back to your Lizzie Loves, Tiny Gallagher, Jimmy Bell, George Suter and all that. They're people that was in contact with the players in the first team squad on a daily basis. And they were hammering home the message and letting them know what it was all about. You know, I'm not saying that the crowd's booing them and the crowd's doing this and the crowd's doing that, but they should be able to see what it's all about. You know, they should be able to feel the place, see the place. And then when they go to away grounds, they can see the difference. You know? They don't need to be the brain of Britain to find out what the Rangers are all about. And if they can't measure up to that, if they're not wanting to play a part in that, they're just mercenaries there taking the money, which I believe a lot of them are. Get the contract signed, get the check going in, and that's where the manager's got his work cut out. You know, and that's not just the same with the Rangers. It's the same with any club. Once they're getting the money, the majority of them couldn't care less what's happening.
Kissing the badge is easy and you get 30 grand a week in the bank. Robert, some announcements for the club today? New positions filled?
Yep, there was, mate. Quite glad that that's been resolved, and I know it's speculated over the past few weeks, but good to see that they've identified positions to be filled and hopefully their successes. I don't think they start right away. I think it's in the new year. Is that correct?
Yeah, you're going to let people know the new director of football.
Yep, the new director of football, effective from January the 2nd, is, let me get his name correct here, Niels Koppen from PSV. He starts on the 2nd of January. And then is it Tom Taylor is in as head of performance also. So a lot of changes throughout the year in the back room.
Only time will tell. Listen, we've seen he's got some scouting pedigree and been about Belgium, Dutch football, etc. AK, but only time will tell.
Well, I believe that our manager has a previous relationship with our director of football, so if the two of them are on the same page, then that's a good start. I'm not sure, Ox, did they work together with Ghent or Bruges or that? Or,
they might have crossed paths at Ghent. I think they might have crossed paths at Ghent, but I've no checked out AK.
Right, never. Well, it's a good thing then, isn't it? So let's hope the two of them can put their heads together and come up with some decent players to come in.
Mm-hmm. I think they'll be working on that already, if I'm being honest. Anyway, I think Warren's with us now. Evening, Warren.
Evening, Ox, how are we going?
All right, mate, yourself?
Not too bad, thanks, pal. Ox, just want to say, after last night, see, Saturday night about 5:30, I was telling everybody that I knew we would win the league. I honestly thought that. Come Sunday, we saw what happened. And then last night, I'm absolutely disgusted with this. And I've come on here a few times, Ox, and my glass is always half full. We've got Blue Star. I've criticised him so many times. In my opinion, the guy's negative. But you know something, Ox? Since 2012, we're coming up to 12 years. And it's hard work, isn't it? It really is hard work. They let us down all the time.
If you think it's hard work, and Southside might back us up on this, come on here after a bad result and try and do it. Southside.
Aye, it can be hard work, mate, honestly. It's hope and expectation that kills you, innit? You know, aye. That's what it is.
You know, Southside, see the love for Rangers. Now, what I like about RangersRadio is, I know you're a wee bit younger, Southside, but one or two of the guys, you know, we're all 70s, 80s men, you know, some are even 60s, you know. You get some of these platforms that are maybe for the younger generation, but we're old school. And it's getting to the stage of, you know, you're like, it's hard work. It is hard work. And see, the way I would put it, Ox, is, and see if it was a girlfriend, right, you would bin her. You'd be like, look, you've let me down too many times, away you go. See with the Rangers, it's in your heart, you can't do it. And it's torture. It really is just now.
You can always get another woman, mate, but you're stuck with the Rangers for life, I'm afraid.
Exactly, you know. Ox, you can't get it out of your heart. You can't. And that's why, as I say, I'm always glass half full, and I'm one of these guys. I don't like to hear anybody criticise the Rangers, say anything against them, you know. And that's Rangers men. I mean, I don't talk to Sailor Mob. I don't break bread with any of them, you know. In my circle, work, anything, I have nothing to do with them. I've talked to Rangers men, respect their views, but I'll tell you, after last night, I mean, after even Flaming Sunday, it's hard work. It really is. It's hard work.
Aye, listen, it's went a bit flat, and you know, it's just.
I wouldn't blame the manager, Ox. I wouldn't blame the manager. You know, it's too early to blame the manager. I thought he was right taking Cantwell off. I thought he was right, and I was quite angry with Ibrox booing. You know, because Cantwell saw these flicks and trying to do this, that, and the next thing. Play the simple ball. We are not Real Madrid. Play the simple ball. We need to score goals. And I mean, some of these players, for crying out loud, you know, they're absolute bung. They really are.
Well, I don't know who we're getting the noise for. Somebody on the phone. I don't know if it's Jimmy yourself, and I know it's difficult, but if you're not speaking, put your phone on mute. My problem with Cantwell, the Cantwell thing last night was, see when he goes in and he tries to beat players, that's what we want. Cantwell with the AK, I just think he was 20 yards too deep when he done it, because the midfield have ran by him, and he wants to be doing that at the edge of the box where he can really hurt teams. No 40, 45 yards for the goal.
Aye, you've got a point there, but it's what happens when everybody's in position. I think that's what was concerning. Come on, we seem to lose our shape in that bit, and as I say, when Scott Wright came on against Hearts at Hampden with a better shape, when McCausland come on, we just seem to be, rather than holding our shape, Cantwell just seems to think he can do what he wants, and he's basically standing on Lammer's toes sometimes. The two of them are looking for the same ball, the same pass, and we just look disjointed because of that. But he's got to learn that if he loses a ball in that area, teams can hurt us, punish us, and obviously Camont was aware of that, and that's why I think he got hooked.
Aye. Jimmy, would you have took him off?
Aye, no. The manager was definitely right taking him off. It gets back to the likes of the days that I remember when Gio with Kent, and Kent was doing all his tricks, and Gio says, that's all right for a circus and all that. And that turned his head a wee bit, Kent. You know, he went a wee bit against them then, same as the rest of them did when Gio told them that the team wasn't good enough for Europe. Because Gio's seen it for what it was. To this day, you know, nobody's going to tell me that Gio Van Bronckhorst and Roy Mackay never knew anything about football or football players with a pedigree that they've got, you know. And then we broke this deal.
Because of that.
Then aye, but we need a team. They don't need to be all great players, but if they're all playing together and they all know what they're doing, then, you know, some of our most successful teams, they weren't all world beaters, you know. We had the odd world beater in the team, but they weren't all 11 world beaters, you know. I mean, Billy Matheson at fullback, he was never a great player. I mean, the days when you used to go and watch your Rangers in A-days, you know, the only people that got abuse was Willie Matheson and the Pope wasn't even playing, you know. But the likes of nowadays, we've got players there that think they're better than what they are, and that's a problem. So the manager has to be strict for them and say, no, this is what we do and this is how we do it. And I've got every faith and every belief that this manager will deliver for us. And I hope, and I believe as well, I share your optimism that the board will back him fully, because we've got no other option, you know. And when you talk and listen to this guy, you can have a bit of faith and belief in him. Whereas before, the other guy who had no time for it all, he was just a con man, you know. He's cost the Rangers, and the Rangers are suffering because of Beale, but we'll come through it. And I believe it will win the League Cup. And I believe that the league's not finished either. I don't see it as all black, because when you look at the result at Aberdeen, that draw was a better result than what the last time we played Aberdeen. And we're still very much in this European competition. albeit that we've got to go to Spain and get a result, which I believe that we've got a good chance of doing. But we're still into this conference thing as well. So it's not all doom and gloom. You know, I believe that things will turn round, and I believe that the Rangers will come good.
Anyway, I think that you'd rather go to Athens for the final than Dublin, wouldn't you?
What?
You'd rather go to Athens than Dublin, wouldn't you? Then again, we might have to take the
Oh,
marbles.
aye. The ideal is to win that Champions League year in, year out, you know, because it's all right saying, oh, we're getting hammered, this will happen, that will happen. But you've got to be in it, because it's being in it that will get you out of the wars, and you will get better. We have to start somewhere. We have to start.
Can I just say something?
Wait a minute, Warren. Wait a minute, mate. Wait a minute.
Sorry, aye.
We've been joined by Smurf. Evening, Smurf.
Evening, Ox. Evening, everybody.
How we doing, mate?
No bad. I just listening to the show, and you know, we've got this final piece in the football and sort of bold jigsaw in place now. So now we need a team. Going forward, bearing in mind I realise we've got guys on contracts, etc., that are probably overvalued. Your Dessers, your Lammers, and there can be no future for the guys. You've got to go. In all honesty, out of the current squad, first team squad, how many of the players really should we be getting into next season with? And I know that's not the reality, because we don't have the money to change everybody. It needs to be changed. But in reality, how many players should we be seeing the back of at the end of the season?
Well, if you look at the ones that's out of contract that were on the park last night, you've got Bonner and Lundstrom. They're out of contract, yeah. And then you've got the hard bit. If the guys you want ready are Lammers, Dessers, Cifuentes, and obviously we're assuming Seema goes back to Brighton. So there's 3 disappeared for last night. And then if you try and get rid of them, mate, that's the hardest thing in football. Smurf. AK?
Aye, unfortunately, we can't rip up contracts. We would like to. I think every club in the world would like to, but players seem to have a lot of power these days, but you can't move them on easily. I don't know. It's a head scratcher for us all, but come on, it's unfair to judge him, because it's no his players. He's trying to get a tune at them. It was pretty good the first 7 games. I look at previous scores there. I mean, he's rattled in 14 goals his first 4 games. The last 4 games we've almost scored 6. There lies a problem right away, doesn't it? So, but it just underlines the change of attitude we've had. But hope he works it out, because we're going to need everybody.
I'm glad you mentioned the manager. We've got a game coming up on Sunday, and I know last night's dominating events, but let's hear from a manager talking about Sunday's up-and-coming game.
Philippe, looking ahead to the weekend, what do you expect from St Mirren? How do you expect your squad to recover going into that game?
Yeah, that's interesting for tomorrow again, how people come into the building. But this is the first time that there's really like a deception that I felt it in the dressing room. They were not happy with their performance. That's a good thing that they were not happy about the performance, but now we need to stand up on Sunday and show our best level. That's what we're going to need to win that game. And it's about making a mind switch really fast every time and not to lose confidence for whatever reason. And to show it from the first second that the game starts, to go full, to get the 3 points there.
In terms of St Mirren, what do you expect from them?
That they will make a wall and make transitions and set pieces, like we have a lot of games in the Scottish League. So there will not be a big difference in that way, and they're gonna fight until they die. And for them, games against Rangers is one of, or maybe the biggest game of the season. So we know that.
Final question.
Philippe, you
spoke there about the tempo of the midfield. You spoke specifically about Cifuentes. Many Rangers fans feel that the last couple of games started the game quite slow. It's been a little bit defensive. Is that something that you would look at going forward? You know, playing with those two.
Play defensive.
Well, many Rangers fans are certainly saying that the midfield seems a little bit negative, a little bit deep. Would you look at potentially moving someone like Todd, who is a bit more forward thinking, and sacrificing one of the defensive midfielders?
No, yeah, okay. We can go in discussions about tactical things, but if you want to have offensive fullbacks and offensive midfielders and only staying with 2 central defenders and 1-6, then you're going to get a lot of transitions against what happened in the beginning of the season, I think.
Thank you, guys.
Would be expecting anyone back for the game against Seville?
I hope to get Scott back, but it's not sure yet. For the rest, no players back, I think.
Right, okay. No lot in that. So you say possibly Scott right back, so Jack and Raskin are still out, yeah? But we've also got Ghost and Balogun to add to the squad, yeah?
Aye, and possibly Kieran Dowell, since he played in some of the games, but he's not actually mentioned him. Nobody's ever asked about him.
I'm not picking that. I'm still hearing whispers that he's not going to be here long term.
I think you'll hear that. Well, it might be true, but if he can get back playing, I think it'll be a better addition to the squad. I know he's only showed up in wee bit parts and he's been out mostly injured, but I think he's got something to offer. Just quickly, as Smurf said, when he said, who would you keep there, quickly, 3 players, Smurf came to my head straight away, and it was only 3. And that was Butland, Raskin and Cantwell.
I want to disagree with that.
Aye, things are moving, but listen, getting rid of players you don't want is really difficult, Robert.
It is, because if they're not performing for you, then nobody's looking at them. That's the way the transfer window works. If somebody's playing well, you'll get interest. If they're not, then you're stuck with them, unfortunately. But I said it before on the show that if they do want to move on, then they've got to do the job here first and foremost, because you're not going to get picked up. And then I said again in the last show I was on about if and when we have this blip, that it's not free flowing and it's not all sunshine and roses. Clement will learn a lot more about the players over these 2 games than he has in the past 6-7 weeks. He'll know areas of concern, we'll say, to address. Maybe the right wing being one, centre back being another, to improve going in January if the funds are there. Director of football comes in, the head of performance is in. It could be shaping up to have the plans already started to address these, not only at the end of the season, but come January as well, to get that revolving door going.
I'm not talking about the players that you that are trying to have a stepping stone. I'm talking about the guys that's going to sit there for 3 years with decent sized contracts, and the intentions of moving because they've got the contracts, and we want them to move because we don't fancy them. Every club, every top club's got some of them, and they just suck the life out of football clubs. AK, and then we'll go to Warren can come back in again.
Aye, you're right there, Oxman. We've had too many of them, though, haven't we? We've had the likes of Ruth and Hollander. Unfortunately, the boy Oberfleur sat there for a couple of years, didn't play a game, but he's still taking a decent wage off us. I don't think that's fair, AK. That boy, it was an insurance payment, so that's how he never kicked the ball. Aye, fair enough. It's a hard condition.
Aye, let's be fair.
But we've had too many of them, though, haven't we? Guys just sitting there taking a wage, and as you say, it's draining the coffers because you're not getting anything back, and you used to be able to punt them on, and that money's drained out of football. So the money that's come in is no regurgitating around the rest of Scottish football or world football and defend the market you're dealing in. But it's no good. But what's the answer? 2-year contracts, players aren't got to come to your club. They want the reassurance, say like a 3 or 4 year deal. But the downside of that is if they don't perform to expectations, then it's not going to be beneficial long term to the club. So that's where the drain and the money comes from.
All right. And you come, Smurf. Jimmy, can you put your phone on mute when you're not talking? We get some feedback for you, mate. Carry on, Smurf.
It's just what concerns me is you've got Tav. Tav's never going to move until his contract runs out, right? Nobody's going to give you offensively, really, going forward. But he gives you the penalties, the some of the free kicks he scores, etc. His numbers going forward are good, beyond good actually. So we've got Dujon Sterling, who's never going to be that fullback. He's sitting there as a backup. Why is he at the club? Tav is never out, so Devine should be sat there ready to come in. If you've got to bring Dujon Sterling in, that tells you Devine needs to leave the club. To my estimation, I know it's not as black and white as that, but it's just these silly decisions all over the place. We've got Lammers there, who's a 10. We've got Cantwell, who's a 10. You've got the boy Lowry at Hearts, who's a 10. We've got McCausland, who's had a breakthrough season, who's a 10. Who's looking at this stuff? So we've got there is guys that could come in and hopefully sort of there's a pathway for them, and then you go and you tap into the Scottish market, and you're going to get more value for money, and then the manager, being a continental guy, would go into the market that he would see, that he would know best. I just think it's obvious the whole thing's just been a pig's ear, It's just depressing because it's good money after bad, and yet even with that situation, we were before the Aberdeen game. We were one game away for the last 16 in Europa League. And
I know.
And a game closer. You know what I mean? So we're not, even as bad as it is, we can't be a million miles away, if you get what I mean. It's just so frustrating.
I get
Two games away from being, you could be getting into that Old Firm game potentially. If you get a win, you've clawed it back. It's keep you awake at night.
It does, mate. It does. But listen, I just think the hardest thing in modern football Southside is players. If you want to move them on, and when you bring players in, they don't settle, because we all know the kind of wages they get at top clubs. People find it frustrating. It's always happened. But before, it was easier to get guys out the door. You didn't have transfer windows, and the football was different. Now, clubs
used to release players on the transfer list, didn't they? That's what they done. But now it's not done that way. But hopefully, with director of football coming in, the structural change, and he'll look at all these players, and he'll have some job when he starts. But hopefully it'll be down to him to move on, and between him and Clement they'll be in tandem of where they want to go, what market they're going to, what they're looking for. Because we've had projects, we need to get a couple of seasoned professionals and people that know a bit about the game. Forget sometimes maybe the 19, 20-year-old. We've got them in that B team, as we talked about earlier, some of them. And if we can't try and get some of them into the team, then we'll as well try to sell them and get rid of them and see if there's another batch coming through. But I think when we go to get signings, I think we've got to maybe look, if we get a 28-year-old, 27-year-old, wouldn't it bother me as long as he comes in, he's a first-team player, and if he's a striker and he can score plenty of goals, then it doesn't matter to me. Give him the 4-year contract. As long as we get our money's worth out of him and we start winning things, then that's all that'll matter. Or a midfielder with experience, because we keep going for the 21-year-old, 22-year-old, 20-year-old, and it might work, it might not work.
What you're saying to me, sign somebody up front who's got international caps with experience.
Aye, if you can at a decent price
Yes,
or coming out of contract. Listen, Kolak was probably ideal for what we started with. He knew where the net was, and he was playing in a team that played sort of two wingers when the way Gio played. He still managed to score goals until he got injured. He worked hard for the team, he grafted, he scored all different types of goals, and unfortunately Beale didn't fancy him because he wanted to play a different striking way and he had other strikers in mind. But I don't even think Danilo will cut it long term, Ox. You know, I think his last two games, he's worked hard, but I don't think I just think he's not going to be prolific for us. And I think some of his decision making in front of goal is a wee bit dubious at times. I thought that one the other night was perfect for him. I know what he tried to do, pull it down and then hit it, but I mean, striker, boys come in, just pick your laces through it. No, hit it first time. Natural instinct.
I've been joined by Bob J. Evening, Bob J.
Evening, lads. How we doing tonight?
We're back on the soft boards, mate. We're back on the soft.
Well, I don't know. I've been doing the dumps all day. I've been that far doing the dumps. The dumps wouldn't even have me. With that performance last night, unacceptable. You can talk about squads, players, strikers, wingers, all you want. That was just shocking last night. Anyway, that's all been spoken about. Look up and down your TV screens this week, and all you'll see is big clubs, big squads on the bench, all sitting nudging each other, smiling and laughing because they can their own long-term deals and their own hyper wages. And I'm afraid Rangers aren't any different. That's just the way football is these days, and it's more or less got to be loved with. You know what you're doing with a boy when you get him, you sit him down and you talk, his agent talks terms with you. The minute he signs the dotted line, you're lumbered with him. Whether he hacks it or not, well, that's just life, that's just football. I'm afraid that's the way it is, guys. Every club's lumbered with a load of players that they didn't want because they've just simply no hacked it. And Rangers are no exception. We'll just have to try and see what we can do for to come to arrangements with some of them, get rid of them, get new people on and go again. You agree?
Aye, but I mean, if they don't move, it's a lot of money out of your budget.
Correct.
Robert?
You said it, mate. The issue is trying to get them shifted, and if they're sitting on a nice, pretty value of money every week, they're not going to make amends themselves to try and get a move. They'll tell their agent they're quite happy where they are, and then, as you say, we're left with them, and we've seen that before with players just running down their contract and leaving for nothing, and it's came to shot us in the foot at times. And then you think the money that could have been saved, it could have been spent elsewhere on a player that would have signed a contract and you'd have got your money's worth, as Southside said. It's just the way football's evolved. It's changed over the years, as you've said, and unfortunately, some players will just sit happy on that bench and laugh and joke.
That's exactly the point I'm making, Robert. You sit a boy down, talk out terms with him, and it happens for him, great. It doesn't happen, you land it with him. It's as simple as that. You know that. You don't need me to tell you. Mm-hmm. It's just part and parcel of the game these days at every big club.
What about
you look up the road? Sorry, Ox.
No, it's all right. I'll take this to Jimmy. I get your point, Bob. Jimmy, what about more look through the bigger contracts, but there's more performance-related stuff in it? If you're doing the business, you get rewarded even more, but if you're not doing it, Jimmy gone? Oh, he may have gone. Spuff?
Aye.
Maybe it's going to work. If you're in a dogfight with other clubs trying to lure somebody, then that might not cut it. But if somebody realises they're privileged to beat Rangers, maybe then you'll get something like that. You know, moving forward, you might be valuing that. But I don't know. I just think realistically, you've got boys like King and Devine and you know, these guys, they've got to be back up to your first team or get rid of them. And we can channel more money, target it for first team players. We need a centre half. We need a guy that's a stick on that we're going to invest in, who's a first pick, first name in the sheet after Butland, and target things that way. We've got to make better use of the domestic market and the youth, and just get them used to being around the squad. You're going to have more misses and hits, but you've still got to be, because let's do John Sterling. I mean, how much is he on? You know, he had a contract at Stoke. Gilson supposedly wanted to keep him, you know, etc., etc. He's going to be on far more wages than any players coming through that youth academy. Sitting on the bench, doesn't he play? It's just waste of money everywhere.
Aye. Listen, if I'm being honest about it, Michael Beale's got a lot of answer for. But maybe, he could have done about 3 or 4 years worth of damage to us. Out of the pitch. Right, okay. Well, quick shout out. Last bear standings back tomorrow. Get on it. We caught up the games the last night. Bit of fun. Pick a team, Scottish League, Scottish Championship, predict a win in a one game. It's easy, Southside. £5, half it goes to charity. It's a rollover. If you never took part the last time, you need to pay another £5 again. There's only been one winner so far. Real popular one, and he was to Southside.
I wasn't that popular, I'll tell you that. There's a few pitch inspections tomorrow as well in the Scottish League, so you'll just need to be careful who you pick. But aye, a bit of fun that goes to charity and it's a rollover. So hopefully
don't get started on that. Don't get Fox started on that.
Oh, I heard about that one.
Oh,
he wasn't happy.
Oh, if the games are called off, there was one unhappy player. Anyway, I get in there. Bit of fun. As I say, AK only one winner. Really popular with the punters he was.
Aye, as popular as rotten fruit in the stocks.
It's popular as toothache, mate.
He's retired undefeated.
Aye. Right, okay. Right. It's turned into a massive game against St Mirren. Bob Chair, you never seen that coming, did you?
No, I did not. I think too many of us thought we were already in the last 16 of the Europa League. We just took it for granted that Rangers would win last night, and I was one of them. Hands up. I thought we were won quite easy last night, and no. And suddenly every game now is going to turn into a massive game. It's a must win. A must win every week now. It's a hell of a pressure to carry on you. But we're Rangers. We've just got to come out here on a Sunday and just do it again. Try and do it again. Surely we can't play as badly again. Well, I hope no, anyway. I don't think so. So it's a big game on a Sunday against St Mirren, who are admittedly going to part the bus.
I think it'd be Ross County, anyway. Right, put you on the spot here, Southside, on your team for Sunday. Then AK, then Robert.
Butland, Tav, Golson. I think Balogun will come in, and Borna. Midfield, I think it'll still stay the two. It'll be Cifuentes and Lundstrom. Matondo left, Cantwell in the middle, and I'd play McCausland on the right. I'd start him, and it'll need to be Danilo up front.
Are you surprised that Densers and Ruth never came on with 10 minutes to go last night?
Well, we needed a goal, didn't we? But if you're no getting the ball up to the strikers and creating chances, then
it's about who you put on up front.
Aye. I mean, we tried to influence it with the subs and it didn't happen, did it?
Oh, they were as poor as the rest of the players, but you can't really blame them because the whole team was poor.
I think you've got to change it a wee bit, mate, on Sunday. And I think we've got to make some changes.
I don't know if we do need the two sitters in this game. Maybe let AK come in this formation. AK?
Do we know if Ridvan's available? Ox, did he intimate that or no?
He's not injured. He was only he wasn't in it.
Right. So he's available.
Aye.
Right. I would play Ridvan then. I think he'll change it a wee bit. Butland, Tavernier, Golson, Balogun, Ridvan. For me, I would bring in King for Cifuentes with Lundstrom. I would start Scott Wright, Cantwell, Matondo and Danilo.
Alright, so you're dropping John McCausland then?
All right. Just to look after him.
Alright, okay. Robert?
Butland, Tav, Golson, Balogun, Barisic, Lundstrom, Lawrence, Cantwell, McCausland, Danilo and Sima.
Tom Lawrence done enough coming on the bench to get on the part on Sunday.
It's just a more forward-thinking player, mate, than having the two sitters. Just let Lundstrom sit and have Lawrence and Cantwell as a kind of box-to-box playmakers as such.
4-1-4-1. AK's formation 4-1-4-1.
Probably more of a 4-3-3, just with the Cantwell and Lawrence just slightly sitting in front of Lundstrom, who'll just protect the back line. So, and then Sima McCausland out wide, stretch the park, stay out wide, and let Lawrence and Cantwell have the free roam in the middle. So, an attacking 4-1-4-1, but it can be mostly looks like a 4-3-3 on paper.
One of the things I noticed last night was how isolated Danilo was. You seen it when he was chasing the goalkeeper. I know he was putting a lot of hard yards in, maybe sometimes silly yards, if you're being honest. However, but sometimes it was the Rangers play within 20-30 yards of him. Smurf.
Very isolated, no support, nobody sort of getting beyond them. Also, you know, he's putting the hard yards in himself. He's trying to close down fullbacks. You know, it's too much. And I think a lot of that is, and I'm not criticising him, but Seamer's went after Boyle. You know, Seamer was one thing about Seamer, even if he was having a bad game before the international break, he was still very, very hard working, and he just looks miles off it now. So we need to get players up and support Danilo and keep a wee guy in the box, because that's where he's going to do his best work in it. That's where he's going to get goals in the box, and you know, get support to him. We've got to, he can't, if the manager starts Lammers, we start getting draws, trapping points. The manager's going to bring pressure on himself. Can he start that boy? McCausland's got to start at 10 ahead of him, you know, and as or Cantwell. He can't play him because he's ineffective. He looks tidy when he gets the ball, nice wee touches and all that, great five-a-side player. But he shouldn't be anywhere near that first team, in my opinion. He's no incisive and he's no really supporting. His job's to support Danilo, and he's an empty jersey, empty vessel.
I'll be interested to see if he starts. I can't see it, but stranger things have happened. Bob, Jim?
Aye, well, we've all crossed opinions on Lammers, especially last night. Anyway, hardest goal, obviously, Butland, Tav, Golson will return. Balogun will return. I would leave Barisic. He wasn't the worst last night. Lundstrom, Cifuentes, just to prove himself, and Cantwell. And I'd start McCausland, Danilo, and I'm split between Sima and Matondo. I'd probably start Matondo. As the boys are saying, Sima's not done it the last 2 or 3 games. So that would be my team.
Matondo
just
was
come in, Ox. Two seconds.
Aye,
Sorry. I'd like to see a 4-2-3-1. Pretty much the same lineup as most of the guys have said, but I'd like to see Cifuentes getting dropped and Lawrence playing as that too. He'd done that before when they dropped Kamara, and he did well in that role. And he can get forward and support, and he can have a dig. I'd like to see him sitting there with Lundstrom and that too, and also with Matondo on his left, as it were. He's got that relationship for the Welsh national team. I think he combined very well. I think in fact he put a good, beautiful ball through from. Don't know if it was against Ross County or Dundee. So I'd like to see that sort of relationship developing and all.
You were there, all right. It was St Johnstone.
I was just enjoying it. Well.
It was at Perth he played that ball through, wasn't it? Lawrence, he'd just come back, wasn't it?
That's right, aye.
Well, that was. You were there, all right. Just a bit of geography stuff, huh?
Aye, I know the best of that.
See when you're saying playing two deep line midfield players, right? But if you look when Cantwell had the ball, Cifuentes was making a run if he'd played it down the touchline. So he's not exactly sitting holding. The ball, one of them will burst forward for time, maybe Lundstrom will sit, or if Lundstrom went forward, he'd have shot near the edge of the box in the first half. It just went by the post. So they're not sitting deep all the time. No, so putting the two of them in the team doesn't actually think that they're not going forward. So it's just the fact that we say, aye, the two holding sort of players, they've got to break the play up. I agree a bit with Smurf, but I think if they're on form or should be playing up to a good level, they two are more likely to intercept the play. Or I think Cifuentes and Lundstrom should be stronger in a tackle, you would think, than what Tom Lawrence would be in the middle of the park to get in on the ball. But I agree, going forward, Lawrence would give you a bit more, obviously, more craft, more vision. But they're not necessarily sitting deep all the time in the game, especially in Scotland, will not be against St Mirren on Sunday.
And that's what it should be. I think, you've got to play as a team. People should be able to have a bit of freedom, I know the manager's with his decision last night showed he wants discipline, but the ball dictates sometimes where you go, innit?
Oh, he's in there to destroy the play into the two of them. When we've not got the ball, they're looking for the two to get on and win the ball back and then get forward to your creative players. I'd like to think that he would give Todd Cantwell a chance in the number 10 on Sunday and probably try Matondo. It seems like jaded and get a bit of pace into the team. So if we knock the ball in behind them, or if we'd knocked that ball in like they done to us the other night and Matondo was there, he's off. No, he's away. So we need to have somebody that turns their defence. No, we've not had that in the team. And Bill was willing to get rid of the wingers. He was going to get rid of Matondo and Scott Wright because he wasn't interested in wingers. He didn't have that style of play. Our fullbacks had to do it, but that's no Clement's game. He wants width in his team. So Matondo might be a good option on Sunday. He's had a few games back, wee cameos. There might be time to unleash him on Sunday.
You think Seaman would still be a start turn for us? He's used to playing with dummies now, Robert, isn't he?
You think so, but again, he's went off the boil a wee bit. But same could have been said for the whole squad the past two games. So it's about reaction now and who he picks it for Sunday. He's got a few options there.
Yeah. Right, gentlemen, we'll reach that time in the evening. Last word for your good self, Bob Jar.
Thanks for having me tonight again, Ox. Absolutely brilliant show, as always. Here's a chilling thought for us all, fellow Bears. We're hanging with our fingertips in this Europa League. And if we didn't keep going, we're hanging with our fingertips in the SPL. So, Rangers, finger out. Didn't hang with them. Get them out. Let's start racking up the wins. Thanks a lot, lads. Have a good weekend. I'm sure the Bears will win on Sunday.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Ox. Thanks for having me tonight again, mate. Bye-bye.
I get a win tomorrow, and the season's not lost. Everything to play for. I still don't think we're out of anything, and onwards and upwards. Good night, chaps. See you later.
Cheers, mate. Young Robert.
Good show tonight, mate. It was good to be on with yourself, AK and Southside. Hopefully get a reaction that they're looking for on Sunday, because the last two games haven't been up to standard. So let's get mentality and reaction back and points on the board.
I would never call them dummies, mate. Just maybe the other things. AK?
Knew you were coming to me there. I enjoyed the show tonight with Ox, Rob and Southside there. Good calls on tonight as well. We're looking forward to the weekend, but come on Rangers, we need to show a proper reaction and get this train back on track. So we're looking forward to one of the Rangers.
For some teams, Southside, 2 draws, and it's a crisis, isn't it?
Aye, well, that's it. And then the boos come back, you know. But no, looking forward to Sunday, looking to get a reaction for the team. I'm sure the big man will sort it out. Be a hard game on Sunday. St Mirren's in a bit of form. No, they're doing pretty well what they're doing now in the league, but we're at home and we need to get the 3 points. So, as we say, one team, one crown, mate, and hopefully we'll get the 3 points on Sunday.
It's quite things are happening. We played St Mirren away after we played in Cyprus. We're playing them away. Playing them again after we played the other team at Ibrox, isn't it? With Stephen Davis in charge, wasn't it?
Aye, just the way the fixtures are fell. But 3 points, mate. 3 points for the famous Glasgow Rangers on Sunday.
Right, can I think? Let me think. A few calls tonight. We had Alex Wisher. Jimmy, it was always good to hear from you all, Jimmy. What a man. Warren. Smurf. Bob Gia. Missed anybody? I don't think I have. Thanks to Robert, AK and Southside for doing the show. Fox and Old School Bloom for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back at 2 o'clock on Sundays. We build up to home victory against St Mirren. Thanks for listening. Remember, you're still the people. Take it away. Old School Blue.